in hybrid format, both in person and remote, and is recorded and live streamed. I'd like to ask Rachel, our board clerk, to call the roll, please.
Councilmember Daughtry.
For the last time, I'm here.
Councilmember Dunn.
Here.
Thank you. Mayor Frizzell.
Present.
Thank you. Labor Representative Julian.
I'm here.
Thank you. Mayor Marine.
Here.
Councilmember Merrill.
Here.
Mayor Nearing.
Here.
Councilmember Peterson. Mayor Roberts.
Here.
And Councilmember Schweddy. Thank you. Chair, we do have a quorum of board members. For our board alternates, we have Councilmember Payne, Councilmember Gallagher in the room, and I believe that's everyone. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right, first item on our agenda is public comment. Each speaker has 3 minutes to provide comments. Remarks must be relevant to community transit services, programs, projects, or activities. We start within the room comments. Is there anyone in the room who would like to provide public comment today? Okay, seeing none, we'll go to remote. I think we have someone signed in as a remote commenter.
Chair, I don't see that person is in attendance.
Okay. Okay, well, then we'll close public comments. I guess if they just pop on here in the next few minutes, we can figure a way to get them on. So that'd be great. All right, our next item on our agenda is presentations, outgoing board member recognition. Rick Elgin Fritz is going to take care of that. Appreciate that. Oh, and we'll do comments for board members to share their love on the outgoing board members during your committee or your council, board member communications. Thank you. Transition from being council members into committee members, and to board members. Take it away.
We are a go. Thank you, Chair Roberts. This is a bittersweet time as we are bidding farewell today to 3 of our board members who've served the agency for years. We had an opportunity informally to celebrate a little bit earlier. Mayor Frizzell, Councilmember Schweddy, Councilmember Sid, where is he? Oh, there he is. Kim Daughtry. I almost said Sid Roberts. That would.
I'm not leaving quite yet.
We were having that conversation.
You want me out of here? That's good.
Anyway, and I'm just so honored on my own behalf and on behalf of the employees of the agency to formally celebrate here in the boardroom and recognize your service as members of this board in good standing for so many years. Thinking about the 3 members we just referenced, Kim joined the board in 2012, first among the 3, and Jan followed 2 years later in 2014. Both were huge instrumental leaders and part of this organization's effort to pass Prop 1 in 2015 and deliver all of the improvements that have ensued since. Mayor Frizzell joined us 2 years ago as
4 years ago.
Oh yeah, 4. I was a journalism major, not a math major. That's why we have Anju and Mary looking after the budget. At any rate, and move quickly into an activist role, both here and in Seattle on the Sound Transit Board, representing Snohomish County down there. And so I just, as I've said earlier today, wanted to express my appreciation and gratitude for your leadership and everything you've done to help us, to lead us, to counsel us, to hold us accountable, and really to help us deliver all of the amazing things that we've been able to do the last several years on your watch. It is truly legacy work. And if you look around the county, you can see the benefits and the results of your handiwork in every part of the PTBA. You know, it demands a lot of an individual to serve the public, and you don't always get a whole lot of appreciation for it. And I'm sure you can be more eloquent on that topic than I, but you've been here with integrity, you've shown patience, you've shown zeal and enthusiasm, you've been tough and really supported your communities and and the other communities as part of a federated board of your respective city sizes. So, and the result of that is better transportation for people in Snohomish County. So I want to start with Mayor Frizzell. She joined the board, as I said, as a large city rep 4 years ago, not 2. It may have seemed like 2. It went by so fast. But she's been an active member of the board. She's chaired a committee. She's been our vice chair these past 2 years. There hasn't been a single event that she has missed that we've done. And I think back so fondly when you first joined the board, I suggested, hey, how about a bus ride? And out we went, and we rode 4 different bus routes during the morning. I think the planning team put together an itinerary for us, and fast forward through the opening of the Orange Line, getting ready for Linwood Link opening, and then last fall, light rail arriving in your city. Just really a remarkable amount of things happening in a fairly short period of time. So just thinking on that and everything I said before, I want to thank you for your time, your commitment, your passion for public service, your confidence and support of community transit, and present you with this very small token of our appreciation, a plaque recognizing your service. Okay. And then Councilmember Schweddy, what can I say? I have a question.
Yeah.
I remember so fondly the day that we cut the ribbon on the Hardison Campus Service and Operations Center. I said there was no member of the board who leads with more passion and unwavering support for our employees than Jan Schweddy. Every question she has is somehow or another rooted in the welfare of our employees and or the welfare of our customers. And she didn't just talk the talk. Jan was one of these board members who would actually go out and drive around to Smoky Point Transit Center and some of the bus routes and bus stops around and near Arlington, and either text or call in questions. Hey, has anybody picked up the trash at Smoky Point lately? Hey, what's going on with that bus stop around the corner? And just such a hands-on and activist member of the board. I think those who in the room and maybe listening who precede my tenure here will remember fondly your leadership on the Prop 1 effort. And I'm told that you've been referred to as the closer because of your knack for going and finding legislators and getting your index finger right up in their business and persuading them of the importance and the benefits of passing that measure. So again, on behalf of the employees, it is my honor to recognize your exceptional leadership and your dedicated service to community transit.
Thank you.
Which brings us to Councilmember Daughtry, who spent many years in his life deep underwater in a submarine. And when I learned that, I was like, I got nothing. Kim was the chair of the board when I started this job. And he was very much involved in the recruitment process. And as I came on board at the start of 2021, we began meeting early in the morning, once or twice a month at Buzz's on Broadway in Everett. And we would show up in our masks and we would go down to a booth and we would sit there and talk about transit and talk about life and business. And it was early times for me in this role. And he just helped me learn so much about Snohomish County and about philosophically approaching the job and how to manage change going forward. And I learned a lot about leadership, and I learned a lot about batteries. And I want to thank you in particular for asking the hard questions, for thinking about the implications of the decisions we were asking the board to make, helping us think through some of the and around some of the corners with the fleet transition in particular. Your experience in that space at the technical level and your eye for the buck and the importance of being a good steward of public resources really helped shape our approach in that space, among other things. So I know if we could have gotten just a few more zip riders in Lake Stevens, we might have be having a different conversation today, but really, really appreciate the opportunity we've had to work together. So again, on behalf of the staff, I would like to present you with this plaque in recognition of your exceptional leadership and dedication.
Okay.
That concludes our presentation.
Yes, sir, it does. And, but you're on next with CEO report.
All right.
This is the Rick Show today.
Great. I guess so. I will be brief if I can. So shifting gears to CEO report, a couple of notable things to report. I want to start with some good news. Some of you have already heard, but I want to formally recognize the fact that we just received a $14 million grant from the Federal Transit Administration through the Low-No program for the purchase of new hybrid electric buses, which will be replacement buses. We will be able to retire 12 double-decker buses that are nearing the end of their useful lives, and we will be ordering new 40-foot diesel hybrids to replace them, probably sometime in the second quarter of next year. So this is the culmination of a lot of work. It's been a very interesting year in navigating the policy landscape in Washington, D.C. with the change in administration. And we had to figure out how to crack the code and how to put forward a competitive grant proposal. We got a lot of help from our delegation. We're very fortunate to have Congressman Larson, Congresswoman Del Bene, two fantastic senators, Senators Murray and Cantwell, who helped support our grant process. And we have a fantastic grants team, Clint and Catherine and Taryn and the whole group over there, doing quality work and putting forward a thoroughly high quality grant application. We had Congressman Larson here Friday before last to celebrate. We gave him a tour and gave him a briefing on our fleet plan and had a really great visit with him. And I know he was grateful to see this outcome as well. So more to come, but it's the first grant award we've received from this new administration. I think it sets a model for us going forward to continue our federal partnership. The other side of our federal partnership is Congress and the congressional authorization and appropriations processes. Congress is now back. They are working on the appropriations bills. There's a deadline of January 30th to get this done, and we are seeing positive signs of movement that the Transportation, Housing and Urban Development Bill will move forward. We've seen a couple other appropriations bills move with earmarks included. So, we're hoping to see the earmarks our delegation has included in the House and Senate bills move forward with that as well. So stay tuned for more information, but that side of the federal house is active and we're hoping for good news. On the state level, we're gearing up for the next session. It'll be a short session, 60 days, starts January 12th. We've been making the rounds here in the county, meeting with our legislators and reviewing with them our draft legislative agenda and sort of briefing them on our various funding programs we participate in at the state level. Pre-filing bills started this week. The House and Senate committees will have started meeting as well. Governor Ferguson will submit his budget later this month. So we're all gearing up to see what comes out and engage with our delegation to support those programs going forward. At the regional level, other and local level, other exciting news is briefed the board over the last month about the opportunity we have to acquire the Goodwill property immediately to our east. And I'm happy to report that we signed a purchase and sale agreement to do so this week, just yesterday. It was executed by the seller. So we are now on the clock to begin our due diligence period and transfer our earnest money to see that transaction go forward. So Sarah over there in the back left of the room has done a terrific job overseeing this process. We've got an environmental consultant on board and ready to go over to do the due diligence work. And so we'll keep you posted as we glide into the end of the year. On the service side, we've got a minor shakeup taking place on the 15th of this month. We'll have some minor adjustments to service on a couple of routes. We're not adding a whole lot at this juncture. We're currently delivering well over 99% of our 2,260 daily scheduled trips. As I've mentioned to you before, we are continuing to work hard to recruit mechanics and augment our maintenance capacity. That continues to be a risk area for us and a constraint on our ability to grow service. That is also contributed to by the fact that we are pretty much mid-transition point with contracted services coming over to direct operation. And so we're in that sort of in-between place of managing that transition, augmenting the contracted service delivery with our own directly operated service. And so we're making lots of great progress. It's getting a little bumpy, and so we're paying a lot of attention to it as we go into the new year. We're hopeful that our recently adapted mechanics contract that the board acted on at the last meeting will give us a boost in recruitment, and we'll keep you posted on that. Wanted to mention the Swift Blue Line interlocal agreement with the city of Everett. You may recall this time last year, we talked about the city's interest in revisiting that agreement. It's been a 17-year partnership in which the city has participated financially in the delivery of the Swift Blue Line. We extended that agreement for 1 year at the start of this year to give ourselves some more time to renegotiate a longer-term agreement. We're not there yet. So we've suggested to the city that we extend again and give ourselves a little more time to work through issues. And so that's kind of where things stand at the moment. As it's written, the current ILA remains active until a new one is approved. And so I'll keep you posted on how things go there. But I wanted the board to know that we're not there yet. A couple other minor things in other news. I attended the fourth quarter WISTA board meeting a couple of weeks ago, and against their better judgment, they elected me to chair the board for the next 2 years. So I'm looking forward to representing the industry at the state level and being a spokesman. It probably means a little more time in Olympia, and I'll get to apply some of the lessons I've learned from all the former chairs on the dais about how to run a meeting. So I'm excited about that. We did review and adopt a legislative agenda for the industry, and we had some briefings from the WISTA federal lobbyist on federal programs and things that are happening back east. Met this week with my counterpart at Sound Transit as part of our regular monthly one-on-ones, and we talked a little bit about that contracted services coordination and the things we're doing to shore up service quality on ST Express. And then also yesterday I got to attend the preview ride for the Federal Way light rail extension, and along with Mayor Frizzell, we got to wave the flag for the other end of the line down there in Federal Way, and that was a lot of fun. Federal Way actually bears a lot of resemblance to Linwood in terms of how that whole facility is laid out. It's a very, very busy transit hub. Lastly, I think everybody's aware now, a board selection meeting will take place Thursday, January 15th. And at this meeting, all the cities come together to select new members of the board and serve the next 2-year term. So Rachel's in the process of receiving RSVPs. They're trickling in a little bit. The deadline we set for that is January 9th. So that concludes my report.
Thank you, Rick. Appreciate it. Okay, we're on to committee reports. The executive committee met on November 20th. Mayor Frizzell, Councilmember Daughtry, Councilmember Merrill, and I attended. The CEO report, as was just shared, was provided, and also an executive session was held to review the performance of a public employee. The next committee meeting is scheduled for December 18th at 11:30. And that's my report. On to the Finance, Performance, and Oversight Committee. Mayor Frizzell.
Yes, the
Finance Performance and Oversight Committee met on November 20th, 2025 in a Zoom format. Attending were Councilmember Kim Daughtry, Councilmember Strom Peterson, and myself. The committee reviewed and recommended one item to the consent agenda, and that is approval of the October 2025 monthly expenditures and payroll vouchers, which are on our agenda items 7C through H. The committee also reviewed and recommended two items to the action agenda. Resolution number 13-25, approving the 2026 Public Transportation Agency Safety Plan, and also resolution number 9-25, adopting the very important 2026-2027 budget. We had a few reports. Sally Stouffer, Deputy Chief Financial Officer, presented the Q3 2025 financial report, and a copy of that is included in the packet. Olivia Woods, Director of Research and Analytics, presented the Q3 2025 performance report, and a copy of that is in your packet. Scott Eastman, Senior Manager, Security and Emergency Management, presented the Q3 2025 Safety and Security Report, and yes, that is in your packet. There was also a October 25, Community Transit collected approximately $18.1 million in sales tax revenue, approximately $263,000 less than budgeted, and that too is in your packet. The average cost year to date through October 2025 was $3.31 a gallon, while the average cost per gallon budgeted for 2025 was $4. This resulted in a favorable variance of 69 cents per gallon year to date through October. The next Finance Performance and Oversight Committee is scheduled for 2:00 p.m. Thursday, December 18th via Zoom. Thank you.
Thank you, Mary Frizzell. I appreciate it. Strategic Alignment and Capital Development Committee, Councilmember Merrill.
Yes, the Strategic Alignment and Capital Development Committee meeting was held remotely over Zoom on November 19th at 2:00. Meeting was attended by Councilmember Dunn, Councilmember Schweddy, and myself. The committee reviewed and forwarded one action item to today's agenda, award of RFQ 2025-106 Facilities Master Plan, Phase 3B, Hardison Campus Vehicle Maintenance HCVM Offices and Parts Department Final Design. Glad I didn't fumble any of that. The next meeting for the Strategic Alignment and Capital Development Committee is scheduled for Wednesday, December 17th at 2 p.m. That concludes my report.
All right. Thank you, Councilmember Merrill. Appreciate that. All right. Consent items. Would anybody like to pull anything off of our consent agenda today? If not, I'd entertain a motion.
Move to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved by Councilmember Daughtry, and I think Councilmember Merrill seconded the motion. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? The consent agenda is approved. All right, on to the meat of the meeting. Action items. Resolution number 09-25, adopting the 2026-2027 budget. Mary Albert. Thank you, Mary. It's all yours.
Okay, thank you.
There you are.
So this is an exciting moment for community transit finance and for community transit. This resolution adopts the 2026-2027 biennial budget, community transit's first ever biennial budget. We presented the budget to Finance Performance and Oversight on October 16th, and then to all of you on October 23rd at the workshop. A public hearing was held on the 6th, and we provided you with 11 public comments on the budget. There is no presentation today. You've probably heard enough about the budget. Just an ask that you approve Resolution 09-25, which adopts the 2026-2027 budget. Thank you.
Gosh, Mary, that was quick. Good job.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Are there questions of board members about the budget? It's very well done and.
I do have a
yeah,
comment.
Okay.
Since I've been on the board, I want to point out that the staff does such a good job that we never have had a no vote by any board member ever. And the reason is because of the work you do. We ask hard questions. You're able to answer those questions in a timely manner. It makes it really easy for us to make decisions. And I don't expect that to stop right now.
Thank you. Good comments. Other comments up and down, board members?
You want a motion?
If there are no other comments, I would entertain a motion.
All right, I move the Board of Directors approve resolution number 0925, adopting the 26-27 proposed budget and other budget-related items for fiscal years 2026 and 2027.
Second.
Okay, the motion's been made by Mayor Marine and seconded by Mayor Frizell to approve the resolution number 09-25, adopting the 2026-2027 proposed budget. Any comments, Mayor Marine? You made the motion. Anything you'd
Other
like to say?
than I'm just excited to see the biennial budget. We just are starting this, our second year of our first biennial budget. And it is so nice
Yeah.
to not have to start in July and use half your year
Yeah.
doing a budget. So we're going to reap the rewards next year.
Yeah, good job. Any other comments?
I'm tempted to vote no, just, but
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
And I totally expected that.
Yeah. You would do that, Mayor
I would.
Marine. I think you would do that. All right, I think we're ready for the vote. All those in favor of passing resolution number 09-25, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thankfully, it passes unanimously. Thank you, Mary. Good job on that. Appreciate it. All right, second item is RFQ 2025-106, Facilities Master Plan Phase 3B Hardison Campus Vehicle Maintenance Offices and Parts Department Final Design. Stephen Kimbrough is here to tell us all about it. Well, Stephen.
Good afternoon. It's Stefan Kimbrough. I oversee our capital development program. And yeah, I'm here to talk about Facilities Master Plan 3B, or what we're now calling HCVM, Hardison Campus Vehicle Maintenance Phase 2. It's the vehicle maintenance, training department, and parts department final design. Oops, wrong way. Okay. So just a reminder, Facilities Master Plan Phase 3 was the renovation of our Hardison Campus Vehicle Maintenance Building. And Phase 3A, we renovated did major renovations to our maintenance shop and expanded the building, adding a new body shop and several new maintenance bays. And so now we're getting on to Phase 3B, which is the offices and parts department, and it's highlighted on there, circled in yellow. That's the approximate area for this renovation. And this area, the first floor, used to be our operations building where we had dispatch and our coach operators reported there. And then the second floor was human resources, employee engagement, and our training department. It's currently, the first floor is occupied by vehicle maintenance and facilities maintenance, and the second floor is our training department. And then there's also, that's about 30,000 square feet of office space. And then we have around 16,000 square feet of warehouse for our parts department. And so that's the areas that'll be included in this renovation. And if you remember, we brought this project to you guys probably 2022. We started design, and as we worked through preliminary design, we added scope, we added the parts department, we added the second floor, and the cost started to greatly exceed what we anticipated in conceptual design. And so we decided to pause the project at that point and seek grant funding for this project. And so we have been on pause, went through the NEPA process, and we're starting over now with final design. So the most qualified vendor for this solicitation was OTAC. The contract value was $2,420,479.52. The scope of work for this task order will include a little bit of preliminary design, final design, and building specifications. It'll include environmental review and permitting, estimating and bidding assistance through award of general contractor, and construction administration services. So here's a little slide about how much grant funding we got versus what our share is. So we've
Nice.
we're getting federal formula money administrated through the FTA to help fund this project, and not just for this design, but also for construction and construction management services. Here's a quick project schedule. So final design is set to start in the first quarter of 2026 and run with the construction administration services will run through the end of construction in 2028. We'll be back here for construction management services in the fourth quarter of next year. And then construction is slated to start the second quarter of 2027. Any questions?
Thank you, Stefan. Are there questions?
I got one, the FTA that we got it, that's astounding, it's great. That went directly to FTA, not through PSRC, correct?
It's the formula funding that comes into the PSRC that's disaggregated, so it's, automatically allocated to the transit agency to fix other service, so it doesn't go through a competitive process.
Oh, okay, got it.
Receive on hand.
I was gonna say, I didn't see this project come through PSRC.
Right. Other questions, board members? Someone? All right. I'd entertain a motion. Joe? Yeah. Jan, you want to make a motion?
I move that the Board of Directors authorize the Chief Executive Officer to negotiate and award a contract to OTEC Incorporated for a not to exceed amount of $2,420,479.52 for the FMP-3B HCVM offices and parts department final design.
All right, motion by Councilmember Schweddy. It is a second by Councilmember Merrill. I think we'll just go to a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes unanimously. Thank you, Stefan. Appreciate it. All right. Yeah, we're kind of starting a new thing and clapping after each shit. Yeah, but this is all good. It's funny how things start, but pressure to keep that up. All right. Item C, resolution number 13-25, approving the 2026 Public Transportation Agency Safety Plan. Ariel Piedmont's here. Thank you.
I'll give just a brief intro here before Ariel takes over. And this is Ariel Piedmont. He's our manager of environmental health and safety. So the board will recall that last year about this time we adopted the agency safety plan, or the Public Transportation Agency Safety Plan, and that's an annual FTA requirement. It is what we'll talk about the next update to that plan today, and I just wanted to provide a little bit of context and remind the board that this is part of our overall larger safety and security strategic work that we're doing for the organization and for service and for customers. And Ariel will describe what that framework is about in terms of the agency safety plan, but it exists alongside of the rules of conduct and our transit security officers that the board is very familiar with and has taken some significant supportive actions on over the last several years. And then this provides some of that framework whereby we're evaluating performance and looking to get better as we move forward. So last year's update in this space was a significant one in response to some updated requirements coming from our federal partner FTA around these plans. And so you may recall that was a significant revamp of what we had done previously in this space. And what you'll see this year is a little different. Last year was, because it was the first iteration through the process, FTA was somewhat directive and prescriptive in terms of the approach, and they gave us two areas to focus on as we undertook the work over this past year. And those two areas were in the topic of transit worker assaults, which of course are a concern at the national level, and then also blind spots within the driver compartment in terms of vehicular visibility. This time around, things look a little different because now we have a year of performance under our belts. We've got some assessment of how we're doing versus the targets and the metrics that we sent. And so we're into that plan, do, check, act cycle. And so you'll see this is a more uniquely community transit directed approach because we've got that experience. Staff's role is to administer this process annually with full transparency to you, the board, in terms of results we're achieving and how we're doing as an organization on this topic. Your role is to review and approve the new plan, and then also in your governance role to be approving expenditures in this area via the budget as an overall umbrella, and then also for individual projects if they come to that level where they require board approval as we move forward. So before I hand it over to Ariel for more specifics, I do want to acknowledge our partnership with the union on this. This is a very collaborative process, as Ariel will describe, and it's an endeavor that we undertake together. And I would just remark it has been an extremely collaborative and mutually supportive relationship in that work. We're all really aligned very closely in our priority on safety for both employees and for customers. So with that, hand it over to Ariel.
Thank you, Roland. As Roland mentioned, my name is Ariel Piedmont. I'm our Environmental Health and Safety Manager, and I'm going to present today on behalf of all the employees and union reps and team that helped us build this document, specifically the PTASK Working Group, the Employee Safety Committee, my Environmental Health and Safety Division, and our Chief Safety Officer, Samantha Leshtak. What I'm going to be sharing today is a product of a joint effort. And it was a really big cross-functional group, and both IAM and ATU partners. I'm going the wrong way. Let's see. So in our agenda, we're going to just cover a brief overview of the agency safety plan. What are the roles and responsibilities? What does that revision process and cadence look like? Some of the highlights of the 2026 update, a review of our 2025 performance, and what are we planning to do in 2026? I'll take any questions, and then we have a recommendation that the board adopt the measure and authorize our CEO to execute the plan. As Roland covered, our agency safety plan is a regulatory required document. It's part of how we get our 5307 funding from the FTA. And it documents the processes and scaffolding for how safety is discussed and evaluated across the agency's businesses. And it provides the foundation for implementing a safety management system in compliance with 49 CFR 673 and the Federal Transit Administration's National Public Transportation Safety Plan. It outlines how we manage safety risks, set performance targets, and promote a sustainable safety culture across all agency operations, with the exception of some of our contracted services where our contractor providers have their own ASPs. This plan is federally required for transit agencies that receive Section 5307 funding and serve a large urbanized area with a population greater than 200,000 people. Talk about our roles a little bit. The board is responsible for adoption of the ASP, authorizing the CEO to execute that safety plan, and supporting the ASP with resources as needed. Our accountable executive and CEO, Rick Ilgenfritz, is responsible for effectively implementing that plan. The executive leadership team is responsible for the day-to-day implementation of our safety management systems. Our Chief Safety Officer, Samantha Leshtak, has overall responsibility for preparing this document, technical advisement, all safety concerns across the agency, and she has a direct reporting relationship with Rick for safety items as required by the regulations. We also have our Employee Safety Committee. It's an 18-member body with 9 employee and 9 management representatives that meets monthly, and they are the subject matter experts to identify safety hazards and identify mitigations. For 2026, our ATU local has selected 7 ATU members and 2 IA members as the employee representatives, and there are 9 management representatives from safety, security, and sustainability, transportation, vehicle maintenance, facilities maintenance, training, planning, and employee engagement. A good chunk of our whole agency in a manageable sized group of folks to get in a room to get work done. And finally on the list, we have AT Local 1576, who represents the plurality of our workforce, the single biggest group of represented employees. and they have authority to work on behalf of all frontline employees, regardless of employee union affiliation or having a union affiliation. Let's get into the cycle. This is an endless circular cycle. So we'll be doing this every year about this time. In quarter one, there is a review of the previous year's data, an evaluation of how we performed by the safety committee and our chief safety officer. We take all that information into quarter two, and we formulate safety mitigation plans based on any missed targets from the prior year. And we'll look at any budgetary requirements to make sure that it fits in if we need extra funding to address them. In quarter three, our Public Transportation Agency Safety Plan Working Group and the Chief Safety Officer review and edit the plan. Once it's revised, it gets presented to the Safety Committee for endorsement, or that Safety Committee can provide feedback back and say, hey, we want you to fix all these things. It has to go through the Safety Committee with a approval vote before it makes it to FPOC or here at the board. So it was happened back in September. And then in quarter four, once it's been endorsed through all the staff levels, it comes to the board, and you will authorize Rick to execute the plan beginning on January 1st, 2026. A little bit about the framework and how we work through this. This agency safety plan flow diagram illustrates how this plan acts as a scaffolding for the agency, in which the safety committee, working groups, executive leadership, and board of directors all work together. There were not any changes made to the structure for this year's plan. A little bit about what changed in 2026. These were mostly incremental changes. We worked together to define a community transit definition for transit worker and also frontline transit worker. A frontline worker is any community transit employee or contractor or any other representing community transit who have direct contact with the public according to their job description. And a transit worker is any employee, contractor, or volunteer working on behalf of the transit agency, period. We clarified and streamlined the training requirements for the safety committee and across the board. We also clarified tracking, event classification, and reporting for National Transportation Database transit worker assaults, as well as other aggressive behavior directed at a transit worker in the Hazard Risk Index severity table. We set our 2026 performance targets. There are 14 mandated safety performance targets. At Community Transit, we've grouped them into fixed route bus, including both contracted and directly operated services, and all non-fixed route services, ZIP, Vanpool, DART. So for a total of 28, it's a lot. Per FTA guidance, each target is set based on the running average of the previous 3 years worth of events, as reported to the National Transportation Database. The 2026 targets were set using data from 2022, 2023, and 2024, and they will be compared to our 2025's performance getting ready to wrap up at the end of the month. And that'll also all be rolled into our 2027 ASP. For the next round. The safety committee examined our 11 missed targets from the 2024 data and grouped them all by root causes to identify 3 areas for mitigation projects in 2026. We're going to continue our barrier door projects where we're working on employee safety through the installation of the operator barrier door. We also noticed that one of the main drivers of our fixed route bus major events, as they're classified by the NTD, are passenger vehicles or personally operated vehicles rear-ending our coaches. So we've tasked our teams to figure out how do we help get other people to stop running into the back of our bus, which generally results in that car being towed away and it hits the NTD reportable major. So that's one of our target areas. The other is for our van pool. We are going to look at ways to help explore options to promote safer driving practices and reduce collisions in Vanpool. We are looking at telematics as one of the main areas to look at, and that's in line with the ask from the Washington State Transportation Insurance Pool, who's pushing all of Vanpool products to start implementing that as a potentially a mandatory best practice. With that, any questions before we move on to the recommendation? Yes, ma'am.
I have a question. How are you going to stop cars from running into huge buses?
We have a couple ideas, and we need to investigate the full legality and authorization, but there are mostly around ways that we can either increase the visibility of our hazard lights. Anchorage, the transit company up in Anchorage uses a high intensity, bright 5 amber light connection. So when you turn on your hazards as you're getting ready, prepared to make a stop, it looks really, really bright. There's a new product with a 5-year exemption. I don't remember the exact term for it, from the Federal Motor Vehicle Carrier Safety Act, that is a flashing amber light that then turns into a regular brake light. So it does like 4 seconds of flashing with a high intensity amber light and then goes red. I've actually started to see them on some 18-wheelers around Snohomish County. We have to figure out if it's approved for use on 18-wheelers. It's not completely clear if it's an option for our buses or if we don't fall under that specific exemption, but stuff around making the back of our buses more visible when they're stopping.
So I recently saw where South County Fire has put a device on the front of their fire trucks, and it's a light that goes around and around really fast, and there's some noise associated with it. So if all else fails, check in with South County Fire.
We'll check in. We are limited. There's a whole bunch of options that are allowed for emergency vehicles that are prohibited for non-emergency vehicles, to avoid that kind of confusion. And we're looking at all the options that skirt that edge. How close can we get without violating any of the highway regulations?
All right, thank you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you had mentioned that we were having some vanpool accidents. I was wondering, can you give us an order of magnitude? Is it a large problem, medium problem on accidents with the vanpool?
I would say it's a medium problem. I don't have the numbers right in front of me, and I can get back to you with specifics. It is one of the areas where we are higher than the WISTIP pool average. So it is an area where we stand out among other areas where we look really amazing on the annual risk reports. But it was in discussing with WISTIP, part of the director's speech included, we're really happy to be having this conversation. This is a great conversation when this is the area that you're, sort of standing out on the more negative side for. So it's a medium magnitude problem. Please let me know if you need more specific information.
I do not, but thank you for the answer.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Ariel, so are they tend to be running into the bus when it's stopped, or going or slowing down, when it's pulling out, or do you have a?
I did not pre-research that. I can pull it up. There's roughly 10. My first answer, and I get you a better answer, is that it's mostly while it's stopped. But I can verify that, and we'll get back to you.
Yeah, because you think sometimes, well, it's pulling out, because it's yield, and some people don't. But and then I was anything on the zip, those are all still not getting accidents there.
We have had a couple events, and I don't recall off the top of my mind the magnitude. We can get the NTD majors, and I'll provide that. I can provide that 2025 list when we're done.
Just Linwood, probably.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right, other board members, questions about our safety plan? Thank you, Ariel, for doing this. I'd entertain a motion from a board member.
You gonna do it? Okay, I move that the Board of Directors approve resolution number 13-25, authorizing the CEO to approve the 2026 agency safety plan.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion made, let me see, this guy down here, Councilmember Daughtry, and seconded by Mayor Marine, was it? Yeah. And so Councilmember Daughtry is making a motion. You have an opportunity to speak if you'd like.
Nope, I don't need
Anything to say?
anything.
I was hoping for one last, hurrah, one last speech. So, okay, I think anybody else have any comments? All right, all those in favor of approving resolution number 1325, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes unanimously. Thank you, Errol.
Thank you so much for your time.
We'll see you next year, right? So, all right. Okay, that leads us on to the chair's report. The next regular board meeting is scheduled for Wednesday, January 7th at 3 p.m. This meeting is not the standard first Thursday of the month and was rescheduled due to the board meeting originally falling on January 1st. We kind of figured that people really wouldn't want to come in on January 1st. So we'll do that. We'll have board communications in just a moment, but let me just say as the chair, it's kind of a sad day for us to lose 3 really good board members. They've made a huge contribution to not only the the culture at Community Transit, but just the board collegiality. And we really appreciate you guys, and known you all for like 10 or 12 years, and you've just always done, exceptional work. And it's those kind of board members are really, really hard to replace. So that's twice that I've said that. We had a little going away thing in the back room, but it's those are heartfelt comments from me. And we'll go on now to board communications, and I'm going to do what I always do, just go in order. And of course, Councilmember Daughtry is the first one to go.
Well, I've already said that this is a sad day for me because everything I've done since I've been on council for 16 years, this is the only thing I'll miss. And so for the board that's going to be coming back, remember we have 2 other seats that we might be able to get onto the board by just citizens. And just remember my name, my hand is up. 'Cause I'd love to come back.
Well, the institutional knowledge there would be incredible. So thank you for those comments. Councilmember Dunn.
Thank you. I'll first just start with appreciation for all our board members and especially the outgoing for your leadership and guiding this organization. This is a very collegial, productive board. And I think if more people knew that there were snacks, there would be a lot more competition from the county. But and I also wanted to express thanks. I reached out to our CEO to ask about free rides to food banks, and he and staff responded, and they're able to, I don't know if you want to share more, but they're able to provide vouchers through the Food Bank Coalition. And it was just really great to see such a quick response and to be able to deliver that for the winter season to remove any barriers for people needing assistance from food banks. So I really appreciate the responsiveness on that. Thank you.
So quick question, would that include Zip?
Free ride coupon is a free ride coupon.
Sounds good. All right, my friend Mayor Frizzell, longtime buddy.
Yeah.
From Linwood,
That's right.
former walking partner in the mall, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Thanks, Sid. It's been my honor and privilege to serve the community of Linwood, but the larger community that Community Transit serves. And this has been a wonderful board to be a part of. And as I expressed earlier, the employees that work here are amazing. And everyone that I've had the honor to connect with, including our folks in the back room, safety officers on buses. There's a pride that goes with community transit, and I'm glad that I've been part of that for the last 4 years. And for those that are asking, I don't know what my next steps are, but I'm not going anywhere. Well, I am going to Hawaii, but I'll be back. But
you're planning to come back, right? Yeah.
could be. But I'll still be in Linwood. I'll still be active in the community. So we'll see from there.
Yeah. Thank you, Mayor Frizzell. Appreciate it. Labor Representative Danny Julian.
Hi, I would also like to express my appreciation for your hard work. Board members Daughtry and Schweddy, you've been pillars since I've been attending these board meetings for many years. And Board Member Frizzell, thank you all for your commitment and dedication. It is noticed and appreciated. I'd also like to say that we're thrilled with passing the PTASP today. So thank you all for that. As what Roland mentioned, it was a very collaborative effort with the ATU being involved. The new regulations gave a requirement and an opportunity for frontline workers to have a voice in the process to advance their concerns about safety, and we created a PTASP working committee that then does this work and brings it forward to the safety committee. And it's kind of a template that other agencies are using. So we really paved the way on that, and we're very proud of that. So good work. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Danny. Mayor Joe Marine.
Thank you. I'm just going to go in order down here. Councilmember Schweddy, it's been just an honor to be on the board with you. You are probably, from what I've seen, the most in terms of digging in. When she says on page 1293 of the budget, you will find, I'm like, what? So just your preparedness, your
Yeah.
dedication to this board, and I know to your city, you will be missed. So thank you for putting in your time. And Mayor Frizzell, I not only will miss you on this board, and I, like you, I was able to represent community transit in the county on the Sound Transit Board. So it's kind of an interesting little dichotomy with both community transit and Sound Transit. So it's nice to share that with you. And then I'm going to miss you on our South County mayors. We collaborate very well together, all of us mayors, and we just had our lunch for this year yesterday, and that was good in Briar. And so we'll miss you there as well in your leadership to the city and to the county and to this board. And then Councilmember Daughtry, we've been off and on this. We're like you, me, and John were a third CEO. I hope our last for a long time. So you got to stay here. So we've seen a lot over the years, and when I think community transit, you're right there. You've been through the thick and thin of it, and we'll miss you. But if we can get a citizen on there, I fully suspect that we'll see you either on Zoom or out here in the audience anyway. But yeah, again, we will miss you as well.
Thank you, Joe. Appreciate it. Councilmember Tom Merrill.
Yes, I have a deep appreciation for all three of you. And what I learned from it, because I've been on the board a shorter time than any of them, but what I appreciated most about Jan was that she, through the thoroughness with which she would read the documents and ask questions, I learned to also apply that amount of dedication. So thank you very much for that. I didn't want her asking questions that I hadn't seen somewhere. Mayor Frizzell, I so enjoyed all of the activities that took place in Linwood in the following years, and the way you engaged in those and brought people in, and we'll always have Birmingham.
Yeah. That's a little inside joke. We will really.
Well, we went to one of the Apple conferences in Birmingham one time. And then Kim, I so enjoyed the questions that you would ask, and I learned from them because you were always asking the question that after you ask it, I'm going, that was the one that needed to be asked.
Yeah.
And so I so appreciate that. So thanks all of you for being on the board and leading me to be a better board member as well through example. And I do miss you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Mayor John Naring.
Yeah, I'll concur with everything that's been said. And, our Marysville neighbor to the north, Jan, I've always known, as Mayor Marine said, and some others, the thoroughness with which she prepares. But it was really interesting to me during her year as board chair to see her speak publicly, which I hadn't seen a whole lot of, and the authenticity of that really connected with people at some of the public events that I was able to attend. And so it was fun to see that side of Jan as well, as seeing a lot of her work behind the scenes. And Christine, just appreciate your work, not just on this board, but as Joe mentioned, our whole county mayors group that we serve on. Your work on public safety and some of these other areas have been indispensable, and so it's been a true honor to work with you and a pleasure. And Kim, I think I probably worked with Kim the longest on this board. And one thing when I think about Kim is, I think about public service, and I don't know if the average citizen always understands the amount of time that some folks put into these positions, whether it's Aquafest or hardly ever, if ever, missing a council meeting or a committee meeting or it's an enormous amount of time commitment that Kim's put in over these many years he's been in office. So Lake Stevens been really blessed to have you, and we'll miss you.
Thank you, Mayor Naring. Let me see. I don't know if anybody is on. Is Councilmember Peterson? He's not on, is he? Councilmember Sweaty.
I guess when your last name starts with an S. Okay, I'm going to talk work and business for a little bit. For the last 12 years, I've also served on a board at Puget Sound Regional Council. And the last 6 years was the Transportation Policy Board, and the last few years I was representing community transit. You have a packet at your table. I would really, really suggest reading it. One of the things you will notice is that, and it's the first time I have ever seen it, is a list of every single city in the 4 counties. It lists out every city in Snohomish, King, Pierce, and Kitsap. And it lists all the data that has to do with what we're trying to decide. Now, we're doing the regional transportation plan. We've been working on it really hard for 2 years, but especially the last year. Next Thursday, we will be making a decision to pass that regional transportation plan. I know that I've mentioned before that our biggest issue was the fact that with the transportation plan, we are $77 billion short. So they came up with all of these new revenue choices. I don't know which one's going to go. After Ferguson came out yesterday and said he was not going to sign anything that had to do with a new tax, so I don't know. But the road usage charge is looking, that's going to be down the road, but they're still looking at that and have been for about 6 years. They are looking at increasing the transit sales tax, increasing county road levies, increasing vehicle fees, and then adding a new one, a new retail delivery fee. So I would really, really suggest you read this. We will make a decision and hopefully vote on it next week. And then it will go out for public comment for several months, and it won't be approved until the General Assembly in May. But if you have any questions, hopefully Kim and I can answer them for you. If not, we can always Google something. But it's going to be extremely interesting because there's no way that we're going to meet that $77 billion. And I don't know about the rest of you, but over Thanksgiving, I went from Arlington to Yakima Valley, and I don't think we had very many roads that were not under construction. I was really, really, I don't even know what they're doing on the pass on 90. It's just incredible. And you look at it and say, what's happening, you know? And so there's an enormous amount. So it's not a slight thing with the transportation plan, because the amount of projects in every single county is way, way above. So we'll have to see how that goes. But what I will do is after the meeting next Thursday, I will put together a statement on what happened and send that to Rachel, and she can get out to you guys so you'll know where we are, because Kim and I won't be back. Okay?
Thank you, Councilmember Sweaty. We appreciate it. I think I'll go to Mayor Matsumoto Wright, who's on line here. Do you have any comments for us today?
I have nothing to add except for the 3 that I have known for a long time. Sorry. And oh my God. Sorry about that. I haven't really this change, and change happens all the time. Change happens every year, but this change on this board is really something. So that's all I will say for right now. Thank you.
Okay, Mayor Wright, thank you so much. All right, we have a couple of alternate board members in the House. Anything out there from Councilmember Gallagher? Okay, yeah, I'm 71 years old. I didn't hear anything you said, but I know it was good, Mike. I know it was good. Oh, well, that's what I thought you said. That's awesome. So thank you, Mike. And Councilmember Payne, do you have anything?
I have from last 4 years, everyone sitting as an alternate, and the questions that you asked at the sort of the way you put things together, it's been really lovely to see how everyone works so well together, asking important questions, asking curious questions, bringing curiosity to them. I think that it's been wonderful to see how community transit. I've enjoyed every minute. It's for the last 4 years. I think that the culture that here really is representative of what we see on the board, but also what we see out. I appreciate all the work that we have years and years.
Yeah.
Shows out in the boardroom here, but also out.
All right. Thank you, Councilmember Payne. Appreciate it. All right. The board will now enter an executive session to review the performance of a public employee, and we'll start with about 15 minutes. Could be an extension. Action may follow the executive session. Board members and alternates, we now ask you to leave the public meeting and join the executive session Zoom meeting listed on your agenda. For board members in person, we'll now move to the adjacent Stanwood Camino conference room. Yeah. So anyway, so we'll do that at exactly 4:10. Jeez.
Okay.
The executive session has been extended 10 minutes to 4:32.
us back into session here in order at exactly 4:31. And I believe we have a motion from Mayor Frizell.
We do. I move that the Board of Directors approve resolution number 14-25, the Fifth Amendment to the Employment Agreement for the Chief Executive Officer, with the following inclusions in Exhibit A of the agreement. This agreement has an effective date of January 1st, 2026. The term of the agreement shall be extended until December 31, 2028, with an annual compensation of $336,638, with PERS reportable gross wage payments, additional compensation in the amount of $30,500, with the CEO's ability to elect a cash out up to 80 hours per year from his earned PTO. The CEO's accrual rate shall be increased to 312 hours annually, and with additional compensation remaining the same as in 2025.
Okay, we have a motion by Mayor Frizell.
We need a second.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay. Mayor Frizell is the maker of the motion. Would you like to speak to it?
I would. So I'm going to go against what I just told you that I wasn't going to do.
Yeah, right.
And kind of explain the process. So this isn't a process that we go in and use a dartboard or any other process, but this is a very thoughtful process. We look at agencies of similar size, of similar employees, of similar bus routes, similar budgets, and we compare ourselves with that. And we have charts and graphs, and we go back to a year ago and have charts and graphs from a year ago. And there's a lot of paperwork, there's a lot of thoughtfulness that goes into this decision. And we believe that we make the best decision based upon the qualities of our CEO, his integrity, his leadership, his ability to continually move the organization forward. And based upon that and the comps that we have out there, I fully support this motion and ask for full support. Thank you.
Okay, before anybody else speaks to it, let's let our CEO speak to this. Do you have anything you would like to say?
Uh-oh.
Haven't I said enough today?
Well,
Oh, gosh, I have had some of these conversations with you in private and in other meetings, and I just want to reiterate to you how much I love my job and how much I love the work that this organization does and how much of a privilege it is to be able to do it. These jobs are rare. And it isn't everybody who has an opportunity in a position like this to make such a significant impact in the community. And it's not just me, obviously, it's the team more than it is me. My job is to help a team come together and function at a high level and deliver results for the community. And that's what drives me and gets me back here every day. So I just appreciate the opportunity to be here. Appreciate the opportunity to work with this board and all these magnificent people out here in the room. So thank you.
we haven't voted yet.
Yeah.
So,
Thank you, Mayor Frizell, for making the motion.
any other board members have any other comments they'd like to make? Okay, all,
Yes.
yeah, all right, we're ready to go. All those in favor of this motion was made by Mayor Frizell, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Is there any opposed? Passes unanimously. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you. All right, that's very good. Thank you, Rick. We let me just say from the chair's point of view, we appreciate you, and we know that you know your services could be wanted in other places, McDonald's or somewhere like a place like that. They could probably use you over there, and we appreciate the good work that you've done and the staff, and we appreciate you. And so I think that was exhibited by the board of directors this contract. So thank you so much. And so, all right, is there any other further business for the good of the order? If not, we will adjourn this meeting at 4:35. We are adjourned.
Definitely have to.